What's up again there, guys? Brian here, the 3 Topics Gamer here to share with you another one of my requested top list, tier list style ranking videos to share with you guys today. Now, this particular video was requested by one of my viewers going by the name of Commander Shepard, and he wanted me to do a tier list style ranking of all of the current Batman animated style films. Now, what I didn't know until I started doing research is actually at the time of this recording, it's actually supposed to be the day before the release of the next Batman animated film, which is kind of centered around Aztecs, which I'll admit, that is a stupid idea. But to help celebrate the equation, even though I probably won't see that film, I thought, heck, it would actually be a cool idea to actually go through all the animated Batman films and rank them in a tier list style. So that's what we're going to do today. So if you do happen to enjoy this ranking video by the end, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep track of me on my future videos. And remember, if any of you guys have any tier list ranking ideas or top 10s or just discussion videos you would like me to do, please let me know what you would like me to do in the comments down below, and I will try to get it up as soon as I can, as well as to give you a shout out. Now, I gotta admit, I was actually very unsure that there were this many animated films, but there are. And starting right about now, there's actually quite a lot, like a little bit over 30. So yeah, so a number of these I know I haven't seen, and some of them I haven't seen in a long time, and some of them I really do like. So that's kind of what we're gonna go through. But I think that to start off the list, I think I just kind of want to knock off the ones that I know I have not seen or have never even heard of. So I have never heard of Animal Instinct. I have never heard of Monster Mayhem. I have never heard of that one, and I think that might be about it in terms of the ones that I know I have not seen. I think everything else I have seen and at one time or another and have a specific opinion about it. So I'll just go from the list from top to bottom. But starting off with the first one, Mask of the Phantasm. That's S tier. That's easily the best one. It is the only one, as far as I know, that's ever been in theaters. It was really, really good. It kind of goes over the origins of the Batman animated version of Batman, which in my opinion is GOAT Batman. I mean, you take every other iteration of Batman that we've had in motion, even all the live action ones, none of them compare to Kevin Conroy's portrayal of Batman. Top tier, Mask of the Phantasm, awesome film. Great performances, really great story, great origin story for that particular Batman. It's S tier. It might be the only S tier on this in my opinion. So that's where it goes. Next we have Batman Year One. This one I recall came out around the release of The Dark Knight, and I did get a copy of this, I believe. No, I take it back. Not that one. It's another one. But okay, Batman Year One. Sorry, think of a different animated film. But Batman Year One. Okay, I have seen this one. I thought it was okay. Few pacing issues. Wasn't a big. A couple characters I didn't really care too much about, but it goes over the very first year that Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. And he started establishing his kind of relationship with certain characters. I thought it was fine, but in my personal opinion, Batman has always been a lot more interesting as an overall character once he's had a little bit of time to kind of get used to the job. That's why like most first takes of a character, like I feel less towards, but like once I get things going, then they're better. Next one, The Dark Knight Returns, both parts 1 and part 2. Honestly, I think you really have to rate them in the same tier. And I have seen this one. I do know for a fact that these did kind of come out around the time that The Dark Knight Rises came out. They came out like maybe a few months apart, if I remember correctly. But both of them are definitely A tier. No question. The first one kind of establishes Batman kind of at the end forming the sons of Batman once he takes on the gang leader. And then the second part has him contending with the Joker and then having to deal with Superman. Both of them awesome. Plus, really awesome soundtrack. I actually think Peter Weller did a fantastic, I would say, outside of Kevin Conroy, he actually does a fantastic older Batman. So that's where I would put that one. Next, Son of Batman. I would probably put this in B tier. I mean, the introduction of Damian. To be honest, Damian's really not one of my favorite Robins. I'm more of a Tim Drake, Dick Grayson fan. But I think they did fine. And it really was kind of the introduction of this version of Damian that would certainly appear in other films moving forward. But I think it was a pretty solid entry. Next, Assault on Arkham. I think this is also B tier. It doesn't really focus on Batman. It focuses more on the Suicide Squad. Batman kind of shows up like in the last, I'd say like 20 minutes just to kind of contend with them. But he just kind of sneak into the Suicide Squad at a point. But yeah, it doesn't really focus too much on him, so that's why I can't really put it too well. But I did like it. Next, Batman versus Robin. I did like it a lot. I did like it a bit more than Son of Batman. But there are just a couple of problems. I mean, Damian was just way too whiny. It was very clear that Batman was holding back, and that's confirmed in a future film. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I would put it. Batman Bad Blood. This one is also kind of a continuation with Damian, but this is the one where Bruce kind of disappears, and then I believe Nightwing, Dick Grayson, has to kind of take over for a little bit. And I really liked that one. I do think that one is probably my favorite with the use of that version of Damian. And to see kind of Dick Grayson have to take over. And then I think this is the one where the relationship between Dick and Damian is really the best established. Because in the comics, that's a very, very strong partnership. And I don't think any of them, it kind of shows the dynamic and kind of why they are so different, yet they can work together so well. So that's where I would put that. Plus, that was the introduction of Batwoman. So I think that's like one of the few times Batwoman has shown up that I actually did really appreciate her. Next, we have The Killing Joke. Well, that's a classic story. They did make a few changes I wasn't too fond of, but I would say it's B tier, at least for me. And I put it, like, I guess I put it in the top of the B tier. Just a few changes I didn't really care much for, but overall it was still great. Batman Sub-Zero. I actually like this one. It's definitely an A. Focuses on Mr. Freeze. I did like how, I think it's the ending that helps. But yeah, this is definitely attached to the Batman animated series. But it kind of feels like it's one of those type of movies that a lot of these TV shows do, where it's its own separate thing, because we know that he encounters Mr. Freeze several times in the comic in the TV series, but like this is felt like its own separate thing. And I think as an isolated story of Batman and Robin's first encounter with Mr. Freeze works much better than what they did with Batman and Robin in the live action version. So yeah. Batman Return of the Cape Crusader. I'm sorry. Before my time, I saw it. Not really my style. I'm sorry. Batman and Harley Quinn. That is such a weird pairing. So weird. I mean, there's been versions where we've had Harley Quinn work with Batman, and it's been alright, but this is definitely one of my least favorite. I mean, it's a couple good moments, but overall, it's like, kind of whatever. Batman Two-Face. It still kind of fits in that category of it's not really my style, and therefore it doesn't really work for me. Next one, Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Oh. Interesting take, but I didn't really care much for it. I mean, you find out that it kind of centers around... It's one of those Batman stories where it's take place in an alternate timeline, in an alternate location, and it just feels weird. It's kind of like Batman set in London, going after Jack the Ripper, if I remember correctly. And the twist at the end, I didn't really care much for it. I didn't like it. I won't spoil what the twist is or who it turns out Jack is, but I really wasn't a fan of that. Batman Ninja. Weird, but also kind of fun. Weird, very interesting. I think what they did worked, but definitely a weird take. I certainly would never, I mean, you know, you have the connection with the League of Shadows, and that's why it's kind of connecting, but still just a kind of a weird, kind of themed story for Batman, but I thought it was okay. Batman Hush. Ooh, that's a very good one. Very, very good one. Hush is a very underrated villain. I really hope, in my opinion, if they continue with the Pattinson era, we eventually get Hush. I think that style and that particular vibe of Batman would work very, very well with Hush. I mean, I don't know what villain they're going to use next. I heard maybe it might be Mr. Freeze, but I really would like them to take a Hush on a take on Hush. I think Hush needs to come to live action soon. Next man, Batman Soul of the Dragon. Man, this one was okay. kind of forgettable. Couple of good spots. I like some of the performances. Some of the action scenes were fine. Just weird tone. I mean, I think there's certain storylines and certain story themes that I think can work better with Batman, and some others I don't really care much for. This is definitely falls more to the I didn't really care much for it. Ooh, another pairing. Batman Long Halloween Parts 1 and 2. Much like Return of the Batman or The Dark Knight Returns, you kind of have to pair them together. Where would I put them? I personally would put them both at the top of B tier. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. But there's just something about that just felt off. I don't know if it's the Long Halloween story itself or some of the voice acting, some of the animation. It was fine. There were some pacing issues. I mean, pacing issues, but it shouldn't have pacing issues because it's cut in 2 parts. So it should work, but it just felt a little off. Still really liked it, but just a couple flaws here and there spread throughout. Ooh, not a lot of people talk about this one. Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Oh, that's definitely A tier. Pretty high. We need to revisit Batman Beyond. I think Terry makes for a great Batman, and I definitely think the story is a kind of a continuation. It's kind of a continuation of the animated series and what happened with that Joker, and they kind of bring him back, and there's some connections. So I've always loved how well the Batman Beyond series has been able to connect with the animated Batman series. I've always loved it about it. And again, I would love for them to revisit Batman Beyond in another form. I know like maybe a year or two ago there was like someone did some like artwork that kind of showed what a modern Batman Beyond movie, if it was done in the style of the Spider-Verse, would look like. And I hope they do that. That would look fantastic. Next, Battle of the Super Sons. Oh, Lord. No. No. I did not like this at all. I did not like it. A couple of whiny little brats. More whiny than usual. Just did not like it. I don't want to talk more about this one. Batman Doom Gotham. It was okay. It was fine. Just, I wasn't too impressed. I mean, good performances, good visuals, and good action scenes, but just nothing that really stood out that really impressed me. Kind of like a one-off series, just kind of like a, I'll put it high. I'll put it high in the C tier. Let's see. Batman in I think it's like the reveal of the Batwoman. I saw this a long time ago, and it was weird. How it wasn't just one person, it was like multiple Batwomen. And that always threw me off. And I thought it was okay, but I didn't really care too much for it. But I do think it's fine. Next one, Batman versus Dracula. Weird. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like that version of Batman, but that was just not the version of animated Batman that I was personally too fond of. Next, we have Batman Gotham Knight. Okay, this one I know came out around the time The Dark Knight came out. And what it is it's like multiple stories of Batman with different animations and different stories. So it's kind of similar to something like Animatrix, where it has like a different animator or a different artist telling a vastly different story. And I think that really worked. I really did like it a lot. But I'll probably put it there. And it could show, you could tell multiple different Batman stories within one film that are vastly different, and I think each of the individual stories worked. My personal favorite one out of all of them was the one where Batman dealt with the gangs. Like, you have like 2 gangs of Gotham, and they're coming together, and they're about to like go all at war and kill each other. And there's a scene where like there's an explosion, and you kind of see Batman walk through fire. That's like a cool shot. And then there's another story where Fox builds like this device that like it's like Batman puts it on his belt, and it causes some sort of like, the best I can describe it, some kind of force field a little bit that like deflects bullets. And the reason Batman gets rid of it is because one of the bullets ricochets off his shield and hits someone, and he decides, you know what, I want to risk my life. I don't want to do something that's going to accidentally take someone else's life, until he gets rid of it. But that's a very good moral story for Batman. Next one, Batman and Superman Public Enemies. I really like this one. Where would I put it? It has a really cool opening theme. It's kind of the whole thing where like Lex Luthor becomes the president, and then Metallo gets murdered, and then, Lex, accuses Batman of killing Metallo, and then he puts a bounty out on him, and Batman and Superman have to come together, and then at the end they take flight in this giant mixture of Batman, Superman, Megazord to go blow something up in space. But I really did like it. I liked it a lot. I really did. That's probably, I'll say this one. That's probably my favorite Batman and Superman film. Definitely liked it a lot. I think Batman and Superman work best when it's just the two of them. Screw Wonder Woman. Don't need her. Ooh. Oh my God, that's one of the goats. Batman under the Red Hood. Ooh, this is tough. I'm tempted to put it at the top of A, but I might have to do something that looks kind of crazy. I might have to put it on S tier. It's that good. It is that good. I mean, it tells the story of what happened with Jason Todd and how he comes back as Red Hood. Nightwing's in there. Black Mask is in there. Joker's in there. That is such a well-toned and deep story. And the ending, I wish there was a sequel to this, but like how it ended kind of felt kind of tragic to me. Because Batman has to kind of confront Nightwing, he has to confront Jason, and Jason's like really pissed off that like, why didn't you go after Joker after what he did to me? Because if anything had happened to you, like I would have gone and killed Joker. And in another animated film, they do that, which isn't here for some reason, isn't it? Wait, that film isn't here. Yeah, there's like another Batman film where it's like an alternate timeline, or I don't know. I think it might have been. Yeah, I think it's missing here, but yeah, it's that good. Yeah, I'm getting distracted. Next man, Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. This is the one where Supergirl shows up and we have to contend with Darkseid. There's I actually really like this one. But there's a really cool boss moment in this, and I think Wonder Woman's in here. This is like the one, but she's not mentioned. Like you're gonna put Wonder Woman, do it this way. Focus on Batman and Superman. You can have Wonder Woman kind of pop in for a little bit, but but focus on Batman and Superman. There's this really cool boss moment at the end where like Superman is fighting like a controlled Supergirl, and Batman confronts Darkseid, and he's like threatens to blow up his planet by detonating all the hell spores, and like Darkseid is just so pissed off. He's like, but he kind of learns to respect Batman, and that is something. But that was a really cool moment. But yeah. Next, and the last one is the Lego Batman movie. I liked this one. Sadly, I've only seen it once, and I don't know why, because I really did like that film. And it was kind of weird at the end, where like Batman and Joker have to team up together to kind of save the day. I certainly was not expecting that, but as you can tell, I am wearing the Lego Batman shirt. But yeah, it's definitely one of the great ones. So yeah, I think that's how I would rank them. So that is my tier list star ranking of all, or the majority of the Batman animated films. If you want to give a crack on how you would rank these, feel free to share your ranking in the comments down below. And like always, I want to thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will catch you all next time.